What's up and good morning, everybody. I am Lady Stars and Fire, and my real name is Michelle Espinosa. This is the weekly healing messages for May 29th through June 4th. I'm just amazed that we're already halfway through the year and that it's already starting to get warm again. And like I said, we're just halfway through. I can't believe it. It's just gone by so fast. Anyway, I'm sitting outside of the back door to the sanctuary today. That's why you might see it says hippies use back door. That's the back side of the sanctuary. So if you see the wind blowing on the curtains, that's actually my doorway. I just wanted to let you know where I'm at. I had a very good feeling. I just needed to be sitting outside with nature during this video. Now, if you've never watched the videos before, I always give you a little bit of information of what it is that Spirit gives me for the week. Then the astrology, and then I do the runes. However, this week, I just was not feeling the runes. I just wasn't feeling them, period. And I just feel like if I'm not feeling it at all, I should be coming back to it maybe on Monday and Tuesday. And that there's a reason for that. Sometimes they have me split the messages up into 2 videos. And I have a feeling that's what this week's going to be. So you're probably going to see the runes come back out on Monday and Tuesday. So if you're looking for the runes during this video, you want to check back later in the week. It's not on this one. Now, I have so much information that I'm being given by Spirit. That might explain why. Because when I go in shamanically and I'm asking what guidance they give me, I never give you what that information means. I just give you what it is they show me, and then that's left for you to figure out what it means for you. And they've given me just a combination of stuff this time around. And so I'm going to give it to you like it was given to me. And if it's meant for you, you will understand. And you'll be able to figure out what it means for you throughout this week. I'm given a Trinity symbol. That's the... Wait, it goes like that. It's a Trinity symbol inside of the circle, which stands for 3. It stands for mind, body, and soul. Most people see it as that, the Trinity inside of the circle itself. However, when they're showing me the Trinity actually starts to change into a different symbol. And I was thinking it was going to be other ideas that are... of ascension, basically, but what it turned itself into wasn't any of those symbols. It turned itself into the tree of life. So it went from the Trinity into the tree of life within the circle. So it would look like the tree of life, how the tree of life tends to look like it's the tree up here and then the roots down here, or sometimes it looks like it's a tree both ways. Now, what they're showing me is once it turned into the tree of life, all of a sudden, they spreaded it out really, 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 really long. So it was just a really long trunk. And that very long trunk started to look like a road. And then they brought it back together into the tree of life, basically within the circle. Again, I know what it means to me, but I don't know what that would mean to you. And that's up to you to figure out. I'm also shown... an anchor, but I'm shown an anchor basically like an anchor to a ship. I'm shown an anchor, and as I'm shown this anchor, I literally feel Spirit grab my heart. Now, I am going to tell you, and I say this every single time, I am not a doctor. If by chance you ever have any feeling that you believe you need to see a doctor, to go visit a doctor, please do so. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to ever tell you not to visit a doctor if you believe you need to. However, what Spirit is showing me is an anchor, and I feel them grab my heart, and the heart palpitation starts. Now, what this is telling me, from what they're actually giving me a feeling, is ground yourself. Calm yourself, because I'm also feeling them pushing in on my solar plexus. So this could be work within your chakras of your solar plexus and your heart chakra that could be unblocking. It could be moving up and growing. And that could be within the pain. And then it could just be also that they're telling you ground yourself within your heart chakra and within your solar plexus this week, because they're showing me it as I'm feeling this with an anchor. So I'm allowing you to know what that means for yourself. However, again, if there is ever any reason that you feel that you should visit a doctor, please do so. I am not a doctor. I am never going to tell you Spirit said that and that's just the way it is. If you think you need to go see a doctor, go see a doctor, darling. I'm just giving the information that I was given, because maybe that doesn't necessarily deal with you directly. Only you know if it does. Then I am being shown a lion face. Again, in my shamanic journey, I'm being shown a lion face, but it's like on a door knocker. You know how like you see sometimes outside, you see the door knockers of a lion and like by the doors. Basically, what I'm being shown is a lion's face on a door knocker. That's up to you to know what it would mean in your life. I'm also being shown, and I heard them ask me, what did I see? They said, Michelle, what did you see when they showed me this? And all I can tell you is what they gave me in this sense. Again, I'm seeing like a picture and a picture and a picture and a picture and a picture. Like 6 pictures in a row, 6 pictures in a row down. So it's like all the way across different pictures. But when they pull the pictures back away from me, it says love. But up close, you can't tell what those pictures are designing or what they say. So that has to deal with perception. And when you come back and you look at it, you see that what Spirit is showing me is the word love within all of these pictures. Again, I can only tell you what I'm being given by Spirit. I'm also being shown, this one is kind of weird. Now, again, this is up to you to see how you choose to take it, because it's coming in a shamanic way. I'm being shown what comes up out of what looks like a black hole. Looks like appears throughout the emptiness is like a skeleton. And a skeleton starts to circle around and then disappear. And then what I see is a circle appears after that. And it's full, bright, wonderful emerald green. After the skeleton just circled around and disappeared. To me, it looked like it was going down a drain. The skeleton looked like it was circling around and going down a drain. And then I got a great big emerald green circle, and it disappeared just like it drew itself, and then it reappeared just like it drew itself in the emerald green, going away and then coming back. So that's up to you to decide what that means in your life, because like I said, I can only pass on what I'm being given. I'm also being shown, and this, I'm not saying that this is Jesus related. I'm not saying it isn't. However, Jesus is one of my teachers in the upper world. But Jesus was not in the vision. Shown a cross. And I say that because there are those who are the Catholic related, who believe in the Catholic religion and follow it to the T. And then there are those who want nothing to do with it. It is not my choices to tell you what to believe. But what I'm being shown is a cross. But I'm not seeing Jesus at all. I'm just seeing the cross and like the sunlight shining through it. And you see the outline of the cross. And what that means to me, what I'm seeing is hope. Okay? I'm not being shown Jesus in any way, shape, or form. Just the light around the cross itself. Now, it's up to you to decide what the Spirit is telling you in this message. But I'm feeling like it's along that line of hope more than directly speaking of Jesus. And lastly, I am being shown a rocking horse. And the rocking horse makes perfect sense for what I'm about to go into. Because it's just a rocking horse, and it is rocking. And Spirit, when they showed it to me, made me rock back and forth. And this has to do with what they also showed me in the natural world. Spirit in the natural world as a medium is giving me a wishbone for the week. And wishbone means good luck. A wishbone means good luck, and good fortune coming to you. However, it's tying with the rocking horse. And the reason I'm putting that together is because what they're giving me is the wishbone means that we have all that good forthcoming coming to us, that good luck coming to us, if we know how to manifest it. If we've learned anything about that. Now, last week in the healing messages, I said that they had showed me the matrix is in the water right now, and it is the numeral numbers of the matrix are changing, and it's constantly changing at this moment, bringing water into a higher element, meaning everything under the water element is like the ranking element right now, which is all about healing. That's what water is, in a sense. I mean, it's a whole different way of getting around it, but at the end of the day, that's what water brings us back to, is a healing. The birds. And what they're showing me is in numbers, our angels, our higher creator energies are changing those angel numbers, changing the matrix to reaction and cause and reaction, and how we act changes those reactions, which then changes those numbers. And it's always about love, it's always about healing, and it's always about bringing up a higher vibration for our lives, for the world in general, not just us individually. And so anything that's dealing with water right now is going to bring extra healing. And I am being reminded, that means you in general. That doesn't mean just water element items. That would, for our witchy people, that doesn't mean just water element items like the herbs that are of water, the stones that are of water elements. This means water in general as well. Healing, baths. Baths will help you with salt water in them for releasing energy, for cleaning out the toxins within your energy. They're reminding us, get to the water some, and let some of that, whatever it is, has that water energy in you, help you find that healing you need. But to go back to the wishbone and the rocking horse, they also reminded me last week that I was explaining that we often hear, I'm a human trying to have a soulful experience. And they say, no, that's wrong. And then we've also heard, as we start to enlighten, that no, you're a soul having a human experience. And they're like, no, that's still wrong. You are a soul, period, having a soulful experience. However, yes, that soul is within a human's body. But they say to remind us, the human's body is nothing more than a vessel. It contains the soul and allows us to live while we're here in this realm, on this world. And we need to not look at it as we're having a human experience, we're a soul having a human experience, or we're the exact opposite by saying we're a human having a soulful experience. Take the human out. That's part of what's keeping you from manifesting properly as quickly. That's what's keeping you from realizing the dimensions, that you really are that much of you are that dimensional of a person, that you can go into the third, fourth, fifth dimensions, because you're still thinking from the third dimension and a human's standpoint, as what you see is all that you can understand. And what they're saying is remember, a soul only is in the vessel of the human for a little while. You'll be loved in the future when you're dead, just like you was before you were born. You'll still be the soul. And what they're explaining to me is, and this is why I said it has to do with the wishbone and the rocking horse. I said last week, a vessel, if you take a vessel, which is what they're saying we are, this is just a little vial. And if you look, you can hear, I have a stone inside of it. That's a clear quartz. And they're saying, see, what we don't understand a lot of times is, if you look at the little clear quartz inside of this vial of water, you can see there's a pretty, beautiful clear quartz in there, shiny. Look at it as if it's the soul. It's the energy, the essence of the soul. And it's beautiful, and it can do anything. There's nothing blocking it. It's beautiful. It can manifest anything it wants because it knows it's not only limited to this vial. It's a soul. It knows better. However, when we allow ourselves to get caught up in worry, fear, doubt, and all of what human is, paying our bills, what's going on with our family, getting jobs, car problems. These are all human problems, which limit us from being able to think on that soulful level. They're not saying not be responsible. Yes, you've got to be responsible, but you got to remember you're a soul above all. You're not just a human. You're a soul, and there's what you can do is limitless. Like I said, a soul knows it doesn't just live in this vial. But when we allow all the clutter of worry and doubt and stress and fear and all of that to get in, you can hear, I still have a clear quartz in here, but now it's dirty. And you can't really see the clear quartz, can you? We've let sewage in, is basically what they say. And this is why we clean from the inside out, because this one is much stronger, much more attuned than the one that's clouded with all of the funky junk that humans allow to get in. And this is what they're saying is the wishbone. The wishbone is the clean soul inside that knows better, that knows this we're getting rid of. This is not going to stop this, okay? And the wishbone says that you can have all of that manifestation like that. You can bring yourself full circle and you can get there, but not when you're like this, okay? This is why we have to clean ourselves from the inside out, and that's what soul healing is all about. And the rocking horse is what is reminding us. That is your only real obstacle. Humans have problems. We get caught up in things, and ego jumps in and it confuses us. Yes. But we also know that we have the spirit of soul with us that is above anything, and we can clean ourselves out by remembering that and working on ourselves and refusing ego to make us full of sewage. Okay? Is what I'm being reminded of. And lastly, I am being shown a frog. And I'm being shown a frog actually in this world is what they're bringing to me. They're showing it to me, but it also came to me in this world. And strangely enough, that works perfectly with what this is all about. Because the frog was hopping its way into a doorway of a building full of negativity. Okay? The frog speaks to us of cleansing. The frog speaks to us of prosperity, of magic, of power, of the power of the transformation. We've got to remember the frog lives in both the realm of earth, of the elements, and of water. There you go, water again. You will always, darling, be in two realms once you have become able to start to notice that. You will always be in more than one place at one time. There is always more to what is going on around you than what you realize, whether it's of the physical world or it's because you're starting to move into those dimensions and start to see how oneness really truly works, how wholeness really truly works. And that is what this water element and the numbers of that manifestation that's changing and of the matrix is about. It's about cleansing through the water and bringing those other elements up to its level for the whole vibration of the planet to get stronger, not just for you. And this is what the frog is talking to us about. It's about realizing we're in two worlds at one time. We have soul And we are soul, period. We're just in a vial at the moment, but that does not mean that we are limited to this vial. Unless we are stuck in the sewage of not being able to find our way out. Okay? That is what I'm being shown. Then, as I move into this week, I'm going into the astrology now, and I hope that any of what Spirit gave me is helpful to you. This week, at the end of the week, the moon... Oh, at the end of the week, we're going to have, I believe it's Mars. Did I even write it down? Scratch that, because it was on the last day of the week anyway, so I'll add that to the next video. The moon itself this week, it goes through a sign pretty much every 2 days. The moon itself will be running through Cancer, then through Leo, and then through Virgo. Cancer is nurturing. It's like mothering, it's nurturing, it's nesting to the family. However, then when it moves in Cancer, it can also become a little bit needy. Our emotions can, when the moon is in Cancer. Then it moves into Leo. As it moves into Leo, we get that whole Leo energy. We get the compassion, the lion heart, but we also get pride and ego. Melodrama can come very easily in Leo. And then we end the week going into Virgo, which is picky, which is more organized, which is more dutiful. So that's how our emotions are going to be going this week. Now, I posted a little bit before I did the video today. On the 30th is going to be a big day. The 30th is Tuesday. And you might start feeling this energy on the 29th, which is on Monday. Vista and the moon and the north node are all in Leo. Leo is a fire sign. Leo is the lion heart. Let me explain this the best way that I can, because Leo can be very complex. Leo is all about compassion and love, but Leo gets caught up in pride and ego. Leo is the king of the jungle. He's got the lion heart, okay? The lion heart gives you the courage and the strength to do whatever you need to for your family, for your loved one. Be the courage of the lion. But Leo is also the king of the jungle. And the king of the jungle reminds us, with being the king also comes responsibilities, not just privilege. Which brings us right back to the lion heart and having the courage to do what is right with the lion heart. That speaks to us of service. We are talking about on the 30th, which is Tuesday, Vista being in Leo. We are talking about the moon being in Leo. We are talking about the north node being in Leo. Vista is the hearth and the home. It is sacred energy. It is the sacred of everything that is the hearth and the home to you. It speaks to us of the purest potential of who and what it is we are, as well as who and what it is we can become. And it will point out what it is that we can and what it is we are not doing. It will also point to us in the moon's energy. Emotionally, it will get in at this time. And we are talking about the north node, which is all about that lion heart lifting up and realizing that it has responsibility, that is not just full of privilege with being the ruler of the king of the jungle. It is about service and taking care of others, but it is about enjoying life and the compassion and the courage to do so. So you've got all of that energy coming into Leo. Leo is a fire sign. Leo is a fire sign. It is powerful. It is a masculine sign. It is aggressive. It's emotional, and it also has some difficulties with ego from time to time. That's a lot of energy going on right there in Leo. And Leo itself is talking to Aries, which has Uranus, Venus, and Pallas in it. Pallas is Athena. It is the wise one. It is the wise goddess Athena, which was Zeus's daughter. Pallas is strategy. She is defenses. She is wisdom. She is also warfare. But mainly she's known for wisdom and strategy. And she's also sitting right there to get caught up in Aries energy, which is bold and aggressive as well, another fire sign. with that strategy of how Vista and the Moon and the North Node are talking to your Leo, you've got Venus and Uranus speaking in the background of what is comfortable to your Venus, what is satisfying to your Venus, what is not, as well as what is your Uranus speaking of, what is important to your individuality, what is important to your independence, what is important to your inventive nature, the inventive person that lives within you. So you've got this communication going on and cleansing and questioning yourself as well coming out, as well as showing itself while it's going through that karmic change. It's Leo is also that energy of Leo is also speaking to Gemini, which is Sun, and Sirius, which is an air element. So that's karma. Sirius is cause and effect. It's karma as well, and it's speaking with Sun. So we're speaking of it being literally in the air, in the messages, in our core energy of the sun, of how it is we shine. We're going to be looking at all of this on Monday and Tuesday, maybe even on Wednesday. And then it's also speaking again to Sagittarius, which has Saturn in it, which is another fire element. There is nothing but masculine aggression, passion, and energy going on here. This can be a wonderful thing. This could be lighting the fires of all the loving things of you. Or it can really be pushing buttons because we're talking about fire energy. Okay? And on top of all of that, Jupiter and Chiron is speaking to each other. Jupiter is air, filling your fueling of your water, which has Chiron in Pisces. Chiron is your wounded healer. Chiron is going to be asking this question this week. What is not healed? And why? And it's going to be emotionally in there. And it could be teaching you lessons. The whole idea here is to teach you lessons as Jupiter strengthens that and brings it out and makes that grow so that you can actually grow and evolve. Now, on June 1st and 2nd, we have a Grand Cross. Like I said, a big week. We have a Grand Cross on June 2nd. We have Gemini, an air element, and it's got Mars. The Grand Cross is 4 different things talking to each other. You have the air element in Gemini, which is the two faces. I see all sides of things. It's that communication as well within Mars, which is within our warrior, within our defender, within our passion, our fire, our aggression as well, because that's what Mars is. Mars is your SWAT team. It is your inner warrior for the good or the bad. And it is talking and viewing all sides of the story through Gemini right now. It is speaking to Saturn, which is your boundaries, your rules and boundaries. In Sagittarius is a fire element of let me explore and be adventurous and let me see if this works out. Okay? And those two are talking again to Chiron and the moon. Chiron is in Pisces. Again, that's a water element. And you've got the moon at that time is going to then be in Virgo. Because this is going to come in, I believe, on Thursday and Friday. So you've got Gemini, Mars, Sagittarius, Saturn, Chiron, Pisces, moon, Virgo. You are going to be emotionally picking through and organizing what it is that's right for you. Your diet. You're going to be deciding these things. Virgo has that natural finger pointer energy of deciding exactly what this and that and why. And Chiron is going to be bringing up that wounded healer conversation along with Gemini's Mars and fire of Saturn in Sagittarius. So this is going to be a big conversation, but it can be a very powerful conversation. It can be a very positive conversation because this could be deciding what rules and boundaries didn't work and why, as opposing to maybe why we should try to change it. You know, are we willing to change it? Are we at that spot where we are willing to grow and accept changes? Because that's what this whole thing is about. Right now it is all about acceptance, forgiveness, and mercy. That brings us back to the frog. because the frog's energy is all about healing. It's such a magical creature to live in both worlds, to be able to easily just slip back and forth without even thinking about it. And this is what I'm talking about. We're back to Mars, Saturn, Chiron, Moon. All of your elements and in all directions. Speaking about letting go. Forgiveness. You must forgive to forget. And in order to forgive, you must give to get. You've got to cut yourself slack and others slack. You've got to find mercy. But remember, you also got to cut yourself mercy. That's what forgiveness is about. And this is how we get to love. And it's not just how we get to love, but it's also how we remember to find our grace. Okay, we also have a T-square going on this week, which is Ceres and the Sun in Gemini, which is an air element again. This is our communication of seeing both sides of the situation. Ceres is cause and effect. Ceres is nurturing, or what was lacking within the nurturing. And it is also, it gets a little bit too close to home often. But it's cause and effect. It's karma itself, whether it was for the good or the bad. Speaking to your sun energy, your core energy, your shine, what it is that you're seen for, how it is that you're seen. Not just what you want to be seen, but how you truly are seen. And that honest opinion of seeing both sides is speaking to Neptune and Pisces, which is water. And that can be, what side of Neptune are you on? I've only been saying it for a month and a half. This is karma coming in at you. What side of Neptune are you on? Are you creating your magic for your life out of the fantasy and bringing the fantasy into reality? Or are you living in fantasy that is bad for you and you're allowing your own darkness to create your own crap? Basically, that's what it comes down to. That's what Neptune is all about. Neptune is where fantasy meets harsh reality, where we avoid the truth. Are we truthfully creating from where it is that we truthfully can create from? From clean energy, or from the sewage that hides inside. Okay? We have that T-square is Ceres, the sun, speaking to our Neptune. But it's also speaking to Sagittarius Lilith. And this is why it's important to know, which side are you on of the rocking horse? Because Sagittarius, I'm doing the video. Sagittarius's Lilith holds on to everything. She's the dark moon. She holds on to everything that was dark inside of us, and then questions it and makes us evaluate it. And she's trying to get healed, but you can't heal if you're working from this. You've got to be honest enough to get to this, basically. And if you're allowing your Neptune to create from this, honey, this is what you're gonna get, not this. Okay, and lastly, well, I've got two more things. Mercury also is in Taurus this week. Mercury is in Taurus all week long. And it is speaking to the North Node. It is also speaking to Jupiter. It is also speaking to Capricorn. This is all positive. Mercury, it can be positive for us. Mercury in Taurus is speaking to the North Node. It is communicating what it is we need to know. However, it may not do it gently. These aren't obstacles, but it is a positive thing. You have to work through the obstacles. If everything was so damn easy, we wouldn't be working hard to achieve better. It's that simple. You've got Mercury is your communication. In Taurus, it wants all the luxurious things. It wants the love. It wants the enjoyment. It wants to just relax and enjoy life, which can lead you to the beautiful things. However, Taurus also is the bull, and you want to make sure you're not being bullheaded in the wrong time and place, because that will really mess up your Leo and the North Node, along with Vista in that energy, whether the moon is there at the time or not, because it's going to be talking to it all week. You've also got it speaking to Jupiter, which means it can grow. It's going to grow, and its knowledge is going to come in, whether it's bringing you in that positive knowledge or that negative knowledge, because Mercury is all about communication. Are you doing it from a bullheaded standpoint, or are you doing it for the right reasons? You need to evaluate this week. Mercury is also speaking to Capricorn, which is Juno and Pluto, and Capricorn, more or less, is the creation for the foundation for the change of Pluto. Pluto is death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and rejuvenation, which means change, letting go and starting new. And Juno speaks to us of the sacrifice and the commitment we need to create that foundation for that change. Mercury is speaking to it of how to do it. Are you listening? Are you listening from finding out how to luxuriously bring your Neptune's energy in and create wonderful? Or are you listening to the bullheaded side and getting caught up in the dirty vessel? Okay? Then it's also speaking to us of reminding us what is important within our Uranus, within our individuality, within our independence. Why are these things changing? Why is it important to make these sacrifices within your individuality, within your independence, within your inventive nature? And while it is doing that, it's speaking to our Venus and reminding us of what we love and what we don't. I tell people all the time, Venus is your energy when you put your hand in a hot oven and you grab the cookies out without oven mitts. That shit hurts. Venus does not only speak to you of good, love, warm and fuzzy energy. Venus is your senses. It tells you what it loves, what it likes and enjoys, and it tells you what hurts. Both. It is speaking to that individuality, sensitivity. It is speaking to that independence, sensitivity. It is speaking to the inventive nature, the creative inventiveness that is you, and its sensitivity, reminding us in Jupiter, reminding us of the power of Jupiter and its strength and its knowledge that it's bringing in, as well as speaking to how do we communicate this? What messages are we getting from what must change, and what must we do to sacrifice and make the commitment for that change? Lastly, we have under our unpredictable energies this week, we also have Jupiter and Neptune speaking directly across the sky from each other. Jupiter and Neptune. Again, Jupiter makes everything it touch grow, and it also gets into the knowledge of it. So, again, are you talking Neptune of good, positive creation, or are you talking to your Neptune of old, can't let go, holding on to stuff, and creating things that are not healthy? And then lastly, we've got the North Node, which is also speaking to Chiron. So that whole karmic energy of change in Leo is going to be dealing a lot with that wounded healer this week. You've got Ceres this week, North Node this week. You've got Vista and Chiron, Vista, Jupiter, and the North Node. Anyway, you've got your fire is really talking to your water this week. Fire and water. You're always going to be in those two elements. Remember, honey, it all is from soul. And when you're working with soul, you're moving into love. That means forgiveness and mercy. But that's how we find grace. I love you. Hugs and kisses in the wind, and I will see you next week. Or maybe in a few days with the Rune Cast. Bye, everybody.